I walk back into my bedroom and this man is on the phone. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, probably. And he has the phone up to his ear and very clearly is like trying to turn the volume down, but I can very obviously hear that it's a girl.
Uh-oh, could you be the victim of pump and dump? More on that later. Let's get into the next clip.
Nobody talks about what happens when you finally get the most perfect man. Everything's great, everything's healthy, there's nothing wrong with the man, but you know that he's just not your perfect man. Nobody talks about that. That is an extremely hard situation. I just had to cut off somebody because they were literally, it was perfect, but I knew deep down and I knew in my intuition they weren't my perfect man. And I feel like that is not talked about enough.
I don't know if I only see this on TikTok, but it's like the dumbest and most maddening and nonsensical things I can ever see. And this is why just good men have given up. It's like, oh, it's not, there's 3 billion men in the world or something like that. Of course, mathematically, you can find somebody else that's going to be a perfect man match for you. But why not work on the one that's right in front of you? It doesn't make any sense. Please, somebody explain this logic to me. Or is it just she just want to keep, just date a bunch of different guys and sleep around? I don't know. Tell me.
She does. She does want to date a bunch of different guys. Either that, or I think what's more likely is that if you go down her page, I think like Santiago says, she deleted this video. So this was a little bit longer clip where I got to see the full context, and I appreciate you for allowing that. What she's more likely doing is she thinks she's too cute, right? And so she's got so many other options. So why would I settle down? Like somebody just said in the previous clip, why would I settle down when I have the chance to get an athlete? I have a chance to get a celebrity. If I play my cards right, if I post enough thirst traps, if I DM them enough times, I can get chosen. They trash and talk about the women that want a man, they want to settle down, they want to cook and clean for a man. They call them pick-me's. But then they do all of the things, posting thirst traps, photos with your behind all out, that sort of thing, DMing celebrities, and then go online talking about, man, I did this and story time. I hooked up with this A-list celebrity. I'm not going to say his name. And then somewhere in the search bar or somewhere in the comments will be the celebrity's name. I hooked up with him and this is how it went. And it usually goes him messing around with you, coming into town, smashing, going back out of town, spinning the block again, coming through town, you getting smashed again, and then him leaving again, using you for nothing but recreation and leaving.
You were deported back to Mexico with only $40 and a carry-on luggage. As you, woman charged with defrauding several companies, all the way back in 2017. And for some unknown reason that even you admitted on your Instagram, the judge sparred you from a prison sentence, instead gave you probation. You've been illegal in the country for nearly a decade, and on top of it, we're defrauding U.S. companies. Adios, amiga.
Sounds like a modern woman by another name.
Most women don't want to be hunkered down by an average guy. They don't want to give up this exciting lifestyle for an average man. The economy is suffering because we cannot save, because we used to get married young and have 2 incomes. Now we have 1. And it really begs the question, why are we not getting married? Why are we choosing to have a singles economy rather than a couples economy? Now, you may say the men just aren't marrying, but to me, that doesn't really paint a full picture. We all know that men tend to pick for fertility, beauty, and youth, but the average age of first marriage is around 30 years old, and it keeps going up and up and up based on the generation. So what does this mean? That means men, when they're in their sexual peak is around 35 to 40 years old, they tend to cash out of the sexual marketplace earlier than we do, because when we're at our peak, we don't have a tendency to marry. We are being given so much power with the internet, power to make money, power to get access to high-level celebrities, power to be at the coolest social events if you're attractive enough. All of this is fun and exciting. And most women don't want to be hunkered down. That's how they see it, right? By an average guy. They don't want to give up this exciting lifestyle for an average man. That's why you don't see women settling down until that lifestyle starts to go away. They age out of being a bottle girl. We age out of the dating apps, right? Where you don't get as much attention as you used to.
And to kind of add a further element onto that, you have women that live through the women doing all of these things, right? So when they live through that and the woman is giving them hope and encouraging, don't settle, don't do this, then they stay single because they're hoping for the chance to do what these types of women are doing, right? So I'm just hoping for the chance one day, if I do this or if I stay in his DMs long enough, I'm just hoping for the chance that he'll respond to mine and I can tell you guys a story just like she is. Doesn't matter if I look good or whatever it is. I just know there's something special about me or important or unique about me, or he's going to respond. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's why I'm DMing 100 different celebrities in hopes that one of them will just give me a chance. And I don't really expect it to go anywhere. I just expect him to kind of meet me for a weekend, knock me down, and then get on out of Dodge. But it's going to be a story, an experience that I can share, hopefully, with my daughter one day. And my daughter's going to share it. And I might even share it and hope that my husband is okay with that type of stuff. And if he isn't, then he's insecure, right? So a lot of these women, you have the women doing it, and then you have the women underneath it wishing they could do it, hoping they could do it. So they stay in the market as well, thinking that it's going to happen for me one day. If I keep on doing what she's telling me to do or what she's saying to do, it's going to happen for me one day. And it never does. And they just didn't spun their tires for no reason.
Guys who are like too good at sex kind of gives me an ick.
But then be having over 1,000 bodies.
I decided today would be a fun day to tell you guys about a date that I went on 2 summers ago, with a guy that I met on Facebook dating, which, number one, don't do that. Facebook dating is like the weirdest dating app of all time ever. But anyway, I met this guy on Facebook dating. He was quite a bit younger than me, very hot, of course. And we exchanged numbers and we started FaceTiming. The FaceTimes were good. I thought he was attractive. He looked like his photos, thank God. And we chatted, I don't know, maybe like 6 to 8 times over FaceTime before we decided to meet. So one night I'm out with my cousins in Denver and he tells me he's out at a club with his friends. It's his birthday. They've got bottle service, blah, blah, blah. So I decide to meet him for the first time, which, like, in hindsight, was not the best environment in which to meet a date off of an app for the first time. Hindsight's 2020. So anyway, I meet this guy at the club. We hang out for a little bit. He's kind of drunk. We end up going home together. He comes over to my house because I'm sober and driving. And the next day he's going to a water park near my house, which that'll just tell you that he was maybe a little bit too young for me. Anyway, he comes over. We get ready for bed. We go to bed and we hook up. And then at some point after that, I get up and I get like a glass of water or something. So I'm not in my bedroom at that moment. I walk back into my bedroom and this man is on the phone. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, probably. And he has the phone up to his ear and very clearly is like trying to turn the volume down, but I can very obviously hear that it's a girl on the other line. And he's kind of giving her like one-word answers, but he's like fully on the phone with her. You know, it's not like he like hung up as soon as I walked in the room. He is on a phone call with this woman.
Beverly in the comments says, this sounds like a series of poor choices. You meet him at the bar, then he spends the night at your house on a first date. And yes, if he's going to a water park, he sounds like a teenager. Geez. And unfortunately, as she has to do with all these other comments, she's fighting for her life because people continue to try to hold her accountable, and that's not what she's looking for. This man knocked you down and is looking to move forward. Why are you I can't just have a one-night stand. That's what she's saying in the comments. I can't just have a one-night stand. No, you can. You can. It's just that in a few years, when you want to settle down after doing these things, you're going to want a man to accept that you've done these things, and you're going to want to up your game. I'm more mature and I was just going through a phase and all that other nonsense. And you're going to be mad. There's no good men left. After you're on Facebook, after you're on Instagram, after you're on any dating app, TikTok, doing this type of stuff, bragging about it, being irresponsible, you're going to want a man to forget all that because you've come into a new sense of self. This is what they do. A Chad got a hold of you, knocked you down in your own place, and then got on the phone with somebody else. Take that, eat that. You didn't win this interaction. You didn't win this situation.
So a couple minutes later, he ends the phone call. I hear her say, happy birthday or something of that nature. He says, thank you. She says, I love you. He goes, love you too. Good night, right? So I look at him and I go, did you just take a phone call with another woman in my bed after we hooked up? And he's like, oh yeah, but it's not what you think. She's just a homie from home. She's like a really close friend. She's like my sister. She's just calling because it was my birthday, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not an idiot, right? But I'm like, this isn't my problem. I'm never going to speak to this guy again after tonight. Like, I had already decided that he was not my cup of tea. And, you know, the next day we wake up, I drop him off at the fucking water park. And, you know, he texts me for a while and I eventually stop answering and I go on with my life. Well, about 2 weeks later, I get a follow request on Instagram from a really pretty girl. The only person we have in common is this guy. Like, she doesn't even live here. She lives in his hometown. You can like see it on her bio or whatever. And it literally says, you know, followed by blah, 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 this guy. And of course I don't accept it. But how much you want to bet that was his girlfriend? And she found out about me somehow. But just the absolute audacity of taking a phone call from your girlfriend while in another woman's bed after sleeping with her. Like, I can't even fathom, like, where do men get the audacity?
Lindsay in the comments said it should be a learning moment for yourself. Why would you sleep with somebody without knowing their life? Why are you surprised? Deborah says, I can't even fathom that you would admit this or think he owed you anything. Y'all keep on cracking down on her. I know she don't like it. I know she's upset by it, but y'all keep on with this accountability. I appreciate you women for holding this woman accountable for these foolish actions. She trying to gaslight you and say she did nothing wrong, yada, 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 and this and that. But once again, you gonna get to a point to where you want somebody to be with you and accept you for who you are and all that other nonsense. And they gonna pull up these videos and gonna be like, you was acting like you had no common sense. I'm not gonna be able to let that go. And then you're gonna be mad.